Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CM Trading. And today is April 3rd, 2024, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching the U.S. indices tumble. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So we start out today at 4 p.m. South African time out of the United States, an ISM Services PMI number coming out, and then at 6:10 p.m. from the United States as well. Chairman Powell, Fed Chairman Powell, that is, of the Federal Reserve, will be speaking. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs pretty much unchanged. Looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ did tumble and sell off, but the rest of the market didn't, which is kind of interesting. Looking at commodities, gold and oil just off of their highs. And looking at stocks, it was really mixed. Yes, the greater market did sell off, but we saw AlCOA trade higher, and Tesla was one of the biggest losers on the downside. Now, looking lastly at Bitcoin remaining unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect for today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD, just to make the point, it really is unchanged from day to day, going 25 pips. Not a big deal. We are at the bottom of the range, and the dollar solidifying here almost across the board. If you look at the GBP USD also, it's been trading almost flatlined here at 125.60. It may mean that we may sell off lower, or we may even bounce off of these levels. We won't know until there's going to be something aggravating it to do so. So keep that in mind. Now, looking at the Japanese yen, this is interesting. It's on its lows, okay? It's really there. Now, if it makes new lows, if it breaks higher versus the US dollar, that will be a catapult to push all the others lower as well. So keep this in mind. Now, we haven't watched the Turkish Lira since last week, and really it's been a tough trade because as Erdogan is still the prime minister of Turkey, local elections came out the other day, and we all mentioned this, that he kind of lost power there. So there may be a shift and maybe a change in Turkey after all, and that's why it's right off of its lows of 32.42 and trading at 31.99. Again, not huge pip, but remember, this thing went from 18 just about a year ago to where it is today. Now, jumping into commodities, gold just off of its highs. It is selling off here. We do have support at 22.66, so keep that in mind. If it does breach it, then we may see a further correction on the downside. Crude oil also at 85.50 right there. That's like as if it's, carved in stone, because this has been really just a resistance-ish level. And the question is, if it does break above 85.50, that's the level I'm looking for. Now, looking at the individual stocks. So let's take a look at AlCOA, because that was the one. Okay, AlCOA pushing higher to $35. Okay, that's a decent move for a multi-day. Now, remember, AlCOA is a stock that trades on the New York Stock Exchange, which is really the Dow Jones. And taking a look at the Dow Jones on a daily basis, look, it tumbled, okay, over the past couple of days. It's gone over 1,000 points, okay? Now, it's bouncing off of that area right now. It's a 39,400-ish level, so it's bouncing. However, it did sell off. Now, the question is whether or not we're selling off right before the earnings season, which is coming up, in order to take it higher. That could be the case because the stocks are not going further down. Looking at the NASDAQ also selling off as well. Now, jumping into all the stocks, okay, let's take a look at them. JP Morgan just off of its highs, tapering off. So no major sell-off there, okay? Looking at Facebook, actually gained for the day, okay? So it's not like across the board everything is weak and the market sold off, and it just sometimes looks like that, but it didn't, okay? If we look also at Tesla, Tesla actually did sell off a little bit sharper than some of the other stocks. If we look at it, there it is. That's Tesla. Now, it did gap down, but it's bouncing off of this level at 166. You can't really see it so well there. Maybe at a weekly chart, you could see a little bit better. No, not even. Okay, so in a daily chart, you could see it's trading at 166, a gap down. But the question is whether or not it's going to make this double bottom here, and then we're going to bounce above it. That's what I'll be looking for. Now, looking at the rest of the stocks, pretty much they're mixed. Although the markets hold off, like I said, I think it's in anticipation of corporate earnings. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, really remaining unchanged day to day at 66,200 level. Yes, it did dip to 65, bounced off of it. Now, the question of it is whether it's going to come back to that 72,000 level, and that's what everybody's looking at. Okay, so this is a really important moment for Bitcoin. Yes, having a sell-off is completely accepted. People booking their profits, especially as they made money. But the question is whether or not it's going to jump off of this, and that's going to be an important level to do so. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.